And what's up, folks? I'm back with a new video, and with this live, I'm going to talk about why it's hard to be black and conscious, or at least black and intelligent, or just black and aware of what's going on in the world. So, with that being said, I want to first start off with like the first the first way I'm gonna explain why it's hard to be black and conscious, because you're aware of the social issues and injustices that go on not just now but throughout history, and people do not want to hear that. So you got different races. Matter of fact, man, fuck it. White people. If you remind certain white people about slavery and the injustices that they brought among African Americans, Native Americans, Aboriginal Americans, or whatnot, they're not gonna want to hear it. They're gonna try to shut it off, colorblind it, and or say like, "Oh, we're all human beings." You know that argument, being colorblind and whatnot. I'm colorblind. We're all human beings and whatnot. So being a black person and bringing that up to white people that that they have done such travesty throughout the world for centuries, and just bringing that, they're not going to want to hear it from a black person. And just for the fact that people going on, especially if you gain like high notoriety, they're going to try to kill you. That's cold hard facts. Like, they're going to just try to get you up out of here. And you've seen that over time with a lot of people. You got Tupac, you got Malcolm X, you had Martin Luther King. Even though he did a lot, he still did enough to get killed. So with that being said, the next thing, how it's hard amongst being conscious amongst other black people. A lot of black people don't want to hear any pro-black stuff or like teaching them about our history. A lot of black people don't want to hear it. That is sad, and it's cold hard facts. A lot of black people do not want to hear about their history or any type of black power, because in their eyes you're being racist and you hate white people. So of course they're not going to want to hear it. They're going to think you're forcing some type of belief system onto them or whatnot, or whatever you want to call it. It's not even a belief system. It's just knowing your power, knowing that you're more than just a slave. This is why black people go out their way to research history, just to provide it for our people, to give us empowerment, to have something to lean on. Because every day in the media, we see all this positivity about other races. These are the most beautiful women on earth, people on earth. They're mostly white people in these magazines. And in the media, we're portrayed as savages, barbarians. We don't have the voice outlet. Well, we should use social media to be the voice outlet for ourselves, to put ourselves in a positive spotlight, because they're not going to do it. Another thing about why it's hard to be conscious and black. I'm putting conscious in quotation marks, because I'm going to get into why I don't even classify myself as conscious, woke, whatever you want to call that stuff. It's hard because there's no unity. I went over this in one of my last lives. Well, my previous live, I went over this. It's like we got so many different groups of people. You got woke Christians, you got Hebrew Israelites, you got the conscious community, you got people who classify themselves as woke. You got all these different groups of people that do not want to come together. If the main goal is to restore the black community, restore the black dollar, or build an economy, have our own systems, or whatever, why is there not much unity in the community that brings us together so we can make these changes, have our own school systems, have our own banks? Well, we had it all at one point, but let me get back on top. Have our own hospitals, banks, our own police, our own court systems, to hold each other accountable and not allow ourselves to be what am I trying to statistics to this system. Let me go in about another thing. We did have all this stuff. We gave it up, all of it up, due to segregation, because we forced ourselves into a society that did not want us. So that's another thing. We lost all of that, and now we're trying to gain it all back. which we should have never gave up in the first place. We had 40 acres and a mule at one point in time. We had a bunch of land. All right, let me show you how you went down. Civil rights movement. We had the country. Black people lived in the country. White people lived in the inner city. And once segregation and civil rights happened, black people moved into the city, and then white people moved out into the country. So they took all the land that we had. We had more land than them at a certain point. And we gave all of that up. And just being aware of that, no, people are not going to want to hear that. So with that being said, and I'm about to just go into why I don't even consider myself conscious, because there's a lot of ego. Like I said, with the lack of unity, it's a lot of ego with these people. You got certain people that will go out and say, oh, the black woman is God, but go around and call them the B word, disrespect them, disregard them, treat them like, hold on, let me say, Europeans treated their women. How Europeans treated their women. Ancient Africa was a matriarchal system. That's what a lot of people don't know. Ancient Africa was a matriarchal system, meaning women were ahead. So say you had the laws, women wrote the laws, and men enforced them. How did we get from that point? And then you got these so-called conscious woke niggas saying, preaching this bro-black stuff, but they're only doing it to coin off of other people's emotions, just to coin off of our struggles and whatnot. And it's a whole lot of ego to them, because they don't want to come together. They don't want to spread the unity. They don't want to really go out and spread the love. There's no events going on where we help ourselves, because we're the only ones that can help us. We can't rely on nobody else to go out there and help us and provide for us. And it makes it hard for people to actually want to bring a difference to the world, because there's nobody that wants to rally behind them. We're so programmed to highlight negativity on social media, especially social media, and perform these negative and project these negative stereotypes that these people form about us. We're so programmed in this system, in this matrix of life, that we lose all sense of reality. We try to portray these images that we see on TV, live up to these standards that were set by people are not of us. All these materialistic things. We didn't have money back in ancient Africa. We had valuable items. We traded valuable items, things of value, things that natural items that hold weight. Man, and going back to these matriarchal systems, well, men literally built pyramids for women. The pyramids are built for women. They're sacred temples that represent the womb that we're living in Earth and out throughout the universe. This is a giant womb that we're living in. Which I hope I'm not sounding like I'm going on a rant. But with that being said, hope you guys are having an amazing day. Remember, this is all out of love. I don't hate anybody. I don't hate any specific race. You just gotta provide the facts and provide what is going on in the world and spread the knowledge so people can understand and not repeat history. They say history only repeats itself when people are not aware of it. I paraphrase that. Yeah, if you don't know your history, it's doomed to repeat itself. That's the saying. So with that being said, take the time to learn, be open-minded, and not to shut off anyone that has something knowledgeable to say, because we've been so programmed to think that we're supposed to live this way of life, but it's deteriorating us and distracting us from our purpose, and we end up unhappy and unsatisfied. So that's all I'm gonna leave with for now. I love you guys. I'm out. Peace.